What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Just Like Bruddas podcast. We've been gone for over a month now, so it's cool to be back.
Great to be back home.
Wednesday.
Back in the borough.
Yeah. Wednesday. We're coming to you live on a Wednesday afternoon.
Yep.
So yeah, man, it's been a lot, man. How was your holidays?
My holidays were good. The croissants kind of got to me from the last episode.
Okay.
I'm just messing now. The croissants
Right.
are good, but holidays were good. Got to see a family. Got to go back to my other borough, Greensboro.
Right, of course. You were at the John Wall Holiday Invitational for quite a while.
Yeah, that was a very fun experience.
Did a documentary.
Yes.
Went to the MLK in Kingston. Did a documentary on that too.
Yes, we did.
He's been doing a lot of exciting work. I've just been grinding doing.
What you helped? But you helped me with that. You did all the instrumentals and the cutting and all that. And I was just a footage person. But yeah, thank you to everybody who was a part of that. That was especially the John Wall one was fun. I hope you guys continue to check that out as many times as you'd like on my new YouTube channel, Strike Light's YouTube channel.
Right.
But in case you forgot who we were over the last month, my name is Laika Bibi, aka Striker. To my right, the man himself, Kai Jones.
Yeah, you might have heard me on my last effort. You
might have heard me on the last WJG effort.
You might have heard me on the last WJG Sports.
Oh, it's
Just Like Brothers podcast.
No, this is definitely not our last effort though. We appreciate all the support, man. We now over 750 subscribers strong.
Get us to 1,000. We're very close. 243 away now. So
absolutely. We need the subs. We just need it. If you could do that for us, we really appreciate you, of course.
Right.
A lot has happened in the last month. We've had some great matchups over the last month or so.
Right. Let's
just dive in. Let's just go.
Let's talk a little basketball. Let's start with 3A, 4A, ECC. That's been up and down crazy over the last month.
Absolutely.
Eastern Wayne's been making a big push. Of course, last night fell to South Central.
A lot of teams have done that this year.
Yeah, South Central.
I got something to say about South Central in a second, but continue.
Yes, I mean, Coach Cherry has done a great coaching job, losing 10 players from last year's state title game, and he's right back into contention in the 4A East. I mean, he's right now in the top, I think, 6 or 7.
Yeah.
As a 4A team, and
a team that lost their entire starting 5.
Right.
I mean,
his entire starting 5 plus some from their starting 5 they expected to have for this year.
Yes, exactly.
He's pretty much had to retool the entire program, with Dayron leaving, Vontae leaving, of course the graduation of
Shaquem Phillips, Jazir Baker, Shaquan Jones, Sidney Williams, Jeremy Lewis.
Yeah, I mean, so he's done a fantastic job right now. They're currently atop the 3A, 4A, ECC.
And that's because they beat the previously undefeated J.H. Rose team that's been playing great all year. They went to Rose and won. So.
And of course, Southern Wayne, coming up, they came up with a big win against Conley, but then, fell to CD Aycock on Tuesday. So, it's been really rough for the Saints since the last time we were here. I mean, they started out 5-1 and 5-0, excuse me, and now they are at, I believe, 6-12 now.
Yes, 6-12, I think.
Yeah, 6-12 now. So I mean, it's just been tough over the last.
Actually, no, 7-12 because they beat Parrott and then they just beat Conley.
Right.
They had lost 11-12 before that game.
Right. Then of course CD Aycock's had been up and down. Right now they're sitting right there on that bubble for
they gotta
playoff
pick it up. They got to pick it up.
Yeah, they got to pick it up if they don't want to be left out. You're gonna need some wins against some of the lower teams in that 3A, 4A, ECC.
Absolutely. But we also got to say shout out to Trevor Reed. We're glad he's back.
Right.
Of course, he's playing great.
Right. That is right. That is right. Since the last time he made his debut at the South Johnson Christmas Tournament and helped CD Aycock get a win over South Johnson, who was previously undefeated. And actually has only lost 1 game since then. They're 17-2. We'll talk.
We'll get the greater news in just a second, of course.
But so it's been wild.
Yeah.
And then of course Eastern Wayne now have Demetric right back.
That's correct.
Transfer from Southern Wayne. He's now back and
he played good when we saw him against North Lenore.
Right, and looks like he's doing kind of that energizer for them. They're now surging. I believe they're 7-10 now. trying to hold on to one of the very last playoff spots.
Yeah, they're one of like the last 10 teams in, I would say.
Right. So it's been kind of crazy. You know, Rose, of course, you know, started out, 14-0?
Yeah, and then they lost to South Central.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not a bad team to lose a game to.
Right.
But they've played great all year. Got to give love to Coach Rankins and the team. They got a good young core, and they're poised to have a good run for the next few years, in my opinion. Also, got to shout out Conley too, because Conley's kind of in the same situation as South Central. They lost but it was a little bit. It was the same, but a little bit different. They lost 85% of their scoring in 2 guys, and yet here they are contending for a playoff spot again because Coach Maloney's a great coach.
Right.
Of course, shout out to Newburgh too, and Coach Campbell. Love Coach Campbell, of course.
Right, but then you know, of course, you go to the girls. Conley is looking at the top seed in the 3A East.
Yeah, that depends on the lines too, because they are definitely at least no lower than 3 right now.
Right, and then you look at Southern Wayne, who's been surging as of late, and now find themselves in second place.
Yeah, how about Coach Law?
Then after that, you know, they found themselves in second place by a surprising victory over South Central.
Yes, that one definitely shocked a lot of people.
Now, I believe in a couple of weeks they go back they have to go to South Central.
Yes.
Of course, you can win that one, even if you lose to Conley next. Hey.
They've already played Conley twice. And Conley
if you beat South Central, and then if you win out from here, you have a second place spot, and you are guaranteed a playoff bid.
And not just a bid, you're probably guaranteed to host.
Yeah, you're gonna be guaranteed to host, and probably maybe can host 2 games if you get second seed in this spot.
ECC, yes.
Yeah.
They're playing great.
Of course, you know, they beat ACOC last night, who's kind of been reeling a little bit. Kind of like the boys team. They're both kind of struggling and kind of been up and down throughout, you know, our hiatus. I mean, Rose girls look like they're pretty solid.
Yeah, they're playing.
Newburgh, of course, is struggling with the injury to Journey Daniels.
Yeah, McDaniels.
Excuse me.
Yeah, we're thinking of her. Hopefully, she gets well soon. Unfortunately, it's a knee injury for her. Of course, Eastern Wayne has struggled a lot.
Yeah, they're young, so it happens like that. You know, have games and times like that.
They're competing. It's just and it's not like they've lost a bad team. They played good teams. North Illinois is a good team.
Right.
Their conference is very tough.
Right. Then of course we could talk about the Farmville Central Invitational.
What do you mean? What conference is that?
The EPC.
The Eastern Plains. The Farmville.
Farmville,
not for the girls. Have been kind of
the Farmville's.
They had been dominant, but I think the girls probably a little bit relaxed, but they're still winning. But, they're like taking care of business.
Both of those teams, they can relax.
Yeah.
With their conference, you could probably sit 1 or 2 of your main guys, main people every night, and still get a win in the conference. You know, no disrespect to the rest of the conference. It's just the talent level that they have from 1 to 12 is so much higher than any other team in their conference.
That is correct.
Boys and girls.
But our conference team in that area for you is North Johnson. What have they been doing?
Of course, the boys got a couple big wins in the EPC. The girls got a big one over North Pitt.
That was a huge win. That might put them in the playoffs.
Yeah, that might actually save them in the playoffs. So, but we'll see. You know, losing to Bedingfield, that didn't help. But
Bedingfield's a good team.
If you go back and get that Bedingfield win, then maybe if you can surprise, Nash Central, not Nash Central, but
North Pitt again. Or
either North Pitt or
Southwest Edgecombe.
Then
they're playing.
You're probably definitely in from there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Right now, Farmville Central, they're looking at hosting.
Of course, North Pitt girls are doing their thing.
Yeah.
I think they're in 3rd place right about now.
Yeah, obviously the loss to North Johnson hurts for them, but Coach, we love Coach Knight and the program. They're a winning program, so they're gonna be just fine.
Of course, North Pitt boys are.
Yeah, they've really struggled, but they got a young team and a first-year head coach, Coach Smith. They're gonna try to find their way.
The 2A ECC has been kind of crazy. You consider everything that's going on. I mean, Great Central loses to North Illinois on a buzzer beater.
North Illinois lost to Bedingfield after being up 21 in the second half.
Yeah.
So at the buzzer as well.
That's tough.
But other than that, I think they've played better basketball as of late.
I mean, but Green Central was able to beat Washington, and Washington lost to Kinston. So it'll be interesting to see that Washington Green Central boys should be.
Actually, no, Washington beat Green Central.
Oh, Washington beat Green Central.
Green Central was up double digits going into the fourth quarter, and they came back.
So last week was kind of a horror show for Green Central.
Yeah, it was.
It's kind of been what they've been throughout the season. At times they can really show that they're really talented and still one of the better two-way programs in the state. But at times they're also just kind of very underwhelming. It seems like they lack an identity and lack a leader, really. And I think Coach Lou Edwards will kind of admit that now. I think he actually has.
He's very. One thing I love about Coach Edwards, he's as real as it gets.
Oh yeah,
he's open. He will tell you what it really is.
Oh yeah, no, he's in that perfect window of being a player, being a coach, but then also being not so removed, not so deep into the coaching world that he's not completely honest.
Yeah,
what's going on with the press. I mean, I think it's easy to see. I mean, you go from being a program who has all eyes on them. You have one of the top, players in the Eastern North Carolina. To now, you're trying to find your way. You have a lot of good pieces, but
you don't have the guy.
Yeah, you don't have a guy.
Right, everyone's looking at him.
Right. So you kind of struggle with that, and then you don't have an on-court leader who can really rally the troops when you're having moments like
they have guys that can do it. They just have not showed it, in my opinion.
Right, and they have to figure that out before the playoffs. Because otherwise, you're looking at a first-round exit. This is a team I thought, talent-wise,
they can win at least multiple. Yes,
at least a third-round team.
And talent-wise, they still can. But for Washington, on the other hand, that's probably one of their biggest wins in at least a decade. And I think they, for that program needing to try and establish a winning culture. Right. Obviously, it helps when you get the best scorer in Beaufort County to come to your school for a year. Yeah. But it wasn't just the development of Rashad Smith, who was great and should be heavily recruited. O's put Omarion, yes. Jamari Bryant.
Right, yeah, that's something. I'm sorry.
I think I got that right.
Yeah.
I always get the twins mixed up, and I'm sorry if I got them mixed up. But they're playing great, and they're still trying to get pieces back too.
See, but when you looked at that situation with what they had, really the thing that you were missing a point guard. Rashad Smith is a point guard.
And a very good one.
Very good point guard.
See, I like how we did that together. See, the chemistry's coming back as we talk. As we talk.
So Washington, they are definitely raising their seed right now. If you can continue to win out now with Kinston, and then you have
beat Green Central, you're hosting.
Yeah, much. That's pretty much it. I mean, for Green Central, I mean, now for Green Central, it's a gut check. How bad do you really want to be a winning playoff team?
And you're hosting them the next time, and I think it's Friday actually.
Yeah, because right now Green Central is actually in a place where they're going to have to go to first flight.
A first flight of Hertford County of those sorts.
You're going to have to go to one of those teams. And
I wouldn't want to see them again.
I'm about to say, those teams are going to run you out the gym if you come out there and you play uninspired basketball.
I was going to say, if you don't play your A game, the first flight in Hertford County can take advantage of that.
Right. I mean,
they did beat First Flight recently at the MLK Showcase over at Farmville Central, but a second time around, they did win with Dylan Blake scoring 40, and Dylan Blake also should be heavily recruited.
But then, the girls, it's also been kind of crazy for them too. I mean, Green Central's been winning a little bit, 4 wins. That's big. That's big for them.
Yes, absolutely. They got a young core that they can look to. Ryan Frazier, point guard, has got a chance to be really good. And of course, Kinston doing their usual. Coach Bradshaw. They did have a little bit of a kind of a rough one against Aiden Grifton, but they ended up pulling away to win. Yeah. Washington girls. Ralph Biggs, what we got to say about Coach Biggs? They're winning a little bit too.
Easily.
Aiden Grifton won last night when I saw them against West Craven.
And of course, like I said,
South Lenore got a good program.
Yeah, South Lenore always.
North
Lenore has been.
Of course, yes, absolutely.
North Lenore is probably one of the biggest surprise for the rest of the state. We knew North Lenore was on the way. Girls wise, with Ashanti and
they could get, if they play at the very best, they can win at least 2 playoff games.
Yeah. I mean, the way they played DH County down to the to the
final seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's DH County team is one of the best in the state.
They haven't lost a game yet, of course.
Yeah, that team is really, really, really good.
For a quick second before we change conferences, South and North boys have been. I know they're.
Yeah.
I know.
Of course, Paul Naviggy, he's done a great job.
Yeah. Home run higher, I think.
I mean, but you
with that roster, and he's got 10 wins.
I always think it's a home run higher whenever you can bring in an alumni who
won a national title at Mount Olive baseball. Yeah. Was one of the very best players in South and North.
Right. So I always think that's a great hire when you get those type of guys to come back because they care a little bit differently. You know, just like Green Central bringing back Blue Edwards. You know,
yeah, he's one of those guys that cares so much about that community and that school that he wants them to win so badly.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? If they can take care of business in the games they need to win and maybe steal one or two, they're looking at a playoff spot probably as the number 14. How about it?
Now, of course, the 1A
Coastal Plains.
Coastal Plains.
Coastal Plains. Yeah. Southside girls playing great.
Yeah.
Kanai O'Neill, I saw her the other day against
freshman.
Madam.
I'm telling you, this 2023 class
for the girls. Oh my!
NC is bad.
Shakia Brooks and Dariana Howard.
Yeah, it's deep.
Kamaya Frazier, Green Central.
Brooklyn Waller last night.
Yeah,
she picked up
Anna
her
Taylor
first double.
at News Charter.
It's deep. It's real deep.
But to continue,
but yeah,
Southside girls are probably looking at a playoff spot. Northside has work to do. They're on the bubble, I think.
Right.
But they got some work to do, especially.
Of course, Pamlico was the dominant in that conference, though.
April Rose and her team, the way they lost their top scorer, and they seemed like they hadn't missed a beat.
Right.
They only lost.
And of course, Pamlico boys are still, on top too as well.
They surprised me a little bit. It's them, Tarboro, and Riverside probably for who's going to host the entire conference.
I think Riverside probably has the best player in that conference when you look at Avion Penner.
Avion's played great.
Yeah,
but Tarboro has also been a big surprise, a very pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
Not just the football school, Tarboro basketball school, huh?
Yeah. Which I think a lot of people, me included, expecting them to kind of fall off a little bit after losing. Gosh, I forget who the kid was they lost last year, but he was their best player last year. It was at the 252.
I think the name.
The name escapes me right now, but they've done a great job.
But Tarboro, the way they have to they beat Pamlico, they're in position to host the conference tournament,
right? And
that would be really big for them. Obviously, both Jones senior teams have struggled a little bit, but the boys. Give them a year or two. They don't have any seniors right now. They're going to surprise some teams.
The one thing I hate, the year or two thing, because sports high school sports changes so quickly. A kid transfers out, a kid transfers in, everything changes. That's why
if they can keep it together, I guess.
Yeah. They can keep it together and maybe add some more good pieces. That's exactly what you need. You need youth development, and that's the one good thing will say about 1A schools is that if you're young, you can get those young guys can get a lot more experience at that level.
Speaking of the Pamlico boys and girls, they play Washington County tonight, and that's going to be two really good games.
That's tough.
Oh,
Washington County is a really good team as well.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, I think they should win the state championship in 1A.
I kind of want to see that happen. I want to see them get to regionals and win it this time.
Let's keep it on 1A. Of course, 1A Carolina Conference.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we can go right on that.
Princeton's been running away with it. Princeton Tuesday night took down News Charter. Of course, they've already taken down Rosewood. So both Princeton boys and girls teams.
They should take care of business. We expect them to take care of business. They
control their destiny. They went out. They both will get to host at least 2 playoff games. That's the way I'm going to put it to you. They're both going to be able to host at least 2. If the girls get a little bit of luck, they could probably host 3. So.
By the way, I just want to say, I like the way Meredith Wooten plays. She is a straight killer. That girl is someone I like.
Meredith Wooten is just
she's straight business. Straight absolutely. She's just all business. That's it.
That's all it really is to her. It's just like she's so competitive. She has that drive, and you can see it on the court. She has kind of that sense where she kind of just takes over at times.
Yeah, and she's a leader. She's a competitor. She's just straight bucket. That's it.
And then when you look at the boys team, of course, Jaheim goes down, but you've had Ethan Potts, the post player is alive. The post ain't dead. They just ain't using it right. That's
how about the Ethan Potts and
Ethan Potts, I'm in the Ethan Potts fan club.
Yeah, exactly.
We love the post players, man.
The Potts ponytail.
Yeah, the Potts ponytail. Yes, sir.
How about Jaheim's little brother, though, man?
Yeah, he's a freshman. He's a freshman, man.
He's played great.
I mean, Princeton is the perfect example of how quickly a program can change, because if you look at it 2 years ago, they're 14-10. Kobe Sullivan's very talented. They have a good group of guys, but then, Jaheim, moves from Fuquay Arena to Princeton, and now you get Jaheim to come in the next year.
Now you have Nation Wall.
And then, of course, Nation picks up.
McFadden.
Nation picks up a basketball. I think his 7th grade year. I think that's what his dad told me. He picked up the basketball for the first time in his 7th grade year, and 2 years later, now you're seeing him be the guy at that school.
Yeah,
and
he is.
He's proven that he's without a doubt, the best player on that team right now.
I think so.
Which I know that team isn't going to get caught up on who's the best and who's not. They're all going to play together and try to figure out, the best way to win with each other. And I think that's the great thing about them. I try to be careful in these basketball debates and not put guys against each other and things like that. But I do think that it is fun to, look at, okay, who's this guy, who's that guy. I mean, but when you look at what Nation has done this year, I believe he was at 16, 5-5 pretty much for most of his stats.
He's in his bag.
And I think
he's so ridiculously good, and he's only a sophomore, people.
Yeah, and I think
be on it now.
I think the thing that really helps him is that Garner Road. He has a lot of Garner Road in his game, because I think when he got to Garner Road, he was so raw that he needed those moves. He got those moves now, and I was like, you're kind of seeing him put it together. I mean, some of those snatches. I mean, when I look at Ja Bailey, it looks like an older, Nation Waller. Yeah, and I think that's important. Heck,
so you're telling me Nation Waller is built by design, Mr. Jones? That is a mantra. That's what it was. I was just trying to.
I know what you were doing though. That's the only reason. No hate to Garner Road, because they've done great things.
Love Garner Road
for lots of years. But
hate for me. For what?
Yeah, for that, man. You're gonna try to.
I was going for the pun guy. Come on, man.
Right, man.
I'm just messing.
The pun man.
But we talked about Princeton. The Rosewood boys have done a really good job too.
Yeah,
Roger Benjamin was playing great. He's a great shooter, man.
Yeah, he's probably, in my opinion, he's probably one of the 2 or 3 best shooters in the WJG area. He can straight shoot it.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about
the thing I like about him too is because he's kind of long. He's like 6'3", 6'4", long, and the stroke is just really pretty. It comes out of his hand really easy. Kind of reminds me of your jump shot. That everyone really loves. The striker shot.
I don't know if anyone's actually seen my jump shot, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, well, you know what?
If you have,
if you have it, we'll post it somewhere.
You might have seen my jump shot at the JoCo Combine.
You might have seen my jump shot.
It was the last effort. That was the last effort.
Yeah, but
anyway. But
of course, News Charter boys, they took a loss to Princeton on Tuesday, but they're trying to find a way to get into the playoffs. It's going to be really tough. They're probably going to have to win out and hope that Rosewood loses another game or two to a conference team.
And the girls, let's just talk. We can talk about Anna Taylor again.
Yeah,
she's just
Anna Taylor. She is a flamethrower.
So the flame-throwing freshman.
Yeah, she quick with it. She's smooth, good handles. For a freshman, she really gets it. Of course, Dargan Harris, she's been really good as well for them. News Charter, I think they're a good team, and I think the return trip to Princeton, I think that happens next week or the week after next. Should be really interesting to see. Of course, I think if Princeton can pull that one out, they probably win the conference championship.
Rosewood girls have struggled, but in conference play they've played very well.
Yeah,
they beat Union twice, beat Hopton.
Right.
Obviously,
of course, we know this conference is not a very good basketball conference right now.
I was going to say, when you see the AMPRs, most of those Carolina 1A teams are near at the bottom.
Yeah. I mean, you might get 3 teams in each, boys and girls, but kind of.
Rosewood needs to win, at least beat the teams that they're supposed to beat, and just to have a chance.
Yeah, it's gonna be really tough.
It will be tough, but
and for the Detroit boys.
But we love Coach Whitney. He's doing a good job over there. Of course, he's got a tough challenge in year one. But they have won a lot more as of late, especially in conference play. As we move on to what conference are we going to next?
Let's talk about the East Central, man. Goldsboro has just been Yeah, they've been rolling over everybody. I mean, you talk about the second best team, East Duplin, and they went to East Duplin and beat them by 40.
Yeah.
Clinton, they played badly, but still were able to beat them by 26.
Actually, Wallace Rose Hills played them the toughest in both their games.
Yeah.
10 and 12-point games.
Yeah. You know,
which is still, I mean, Goldsboro probably played at half speed. They still won by double digits.
Yeah, and that's the thing I think that Coach Crumbs is just battling with, just trying to get them to play full speed every single game, which is tough. It's tough when you are so much better than all of your competition.
Yeah, obviously
to try to play.
They just score. You know what I call them in the third quarter, correct? You remember
the
Goldsboro State Warriors. Yes, that's right. You're getting there.
The Goldsboro State Cougar Warriors.
The Goldsboro State Cougar Warriors. But seriously,
they stand up with a knife and like, could you imagine a cougar with a knife and a shield? That's kind of scary.
Yeah,
they already got the teeth and the paws.
Remember when we were both at their game at Southern Wayne after they lost the first time? Yeah. You remember they didn't. Remember Xavier Atkinson in the third quarter?
Yeah, he went crazy. They just went.
I was at that East Duplin game in the third quarter.
Normally, they win the third quarter. They win the game. That's how it's been going for them. Of course, they had a close call against James Keenan, but they escaped 62-60. It happens.
There's always that one stinker game that you gotta fight your way through. And a lot of teams have had that this year.
Well, of course, they got Kinston tonight. Big rivalry. Of course, it was a
the K at the K.
Yep, double OT through. Of course, both of us will be
tonight. The Just Like Brothers tag team events.
Yeah, so
I'm sure a lot of people will be there. I hear a little birdie has told us that somebody from Carolina will be at that game.
Yeah,
is that correct?
Of course, last time Louisville was there, so Louisville, some small D2s and D3s were there as well. I think really, they need to be. We need, we need Christian Bullock to get some offers. It's time. I don't know what more.
The young bull, we need it.
Yeah, I don't know what more people want from that kid, man.
I know they call Colin Sexton the young bull. He's also a young bull.
Yeah,
because his last name is Bullock.
Yeah, people call him the bull.
He is the bull.
Yeah,
and he plays with. He's a tough dude, leader. He's a kid that can go, man. And Corey Faison is just. Yeah, he's probably the best prospect.
The young buck.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he might be the best.
He's the best prospect on their team, I think.
Yeah, he's definitely the best prospect. You look at him 6'4", 6'5"-ish, somewhere in that range, but
for them
super athletic.
Yeah, but for them to beat that, yeah, exactly. For Goldsboro to beat those tier one, those Farmville, Kinston, South Granville, because they're undefeated, of course.
Yeah.
To beat those teams, they're going to need not just their big three, but they're going to need a lot of other contributions.
Right.
They're going to need.
But see, that's the thing. That's the thing for them, man. They have so many guys they can turn to and get good minutes.
They're a deep team.
And
Coach Kroom has 10 to 12
problem.
guys. Yeah.
Coach Kroom has no problem, even in a close game. Going.
He will go with 5 bench players.
I believe. I can't remember his name right now. Graham. I can't remember his first name right now. I'm always bad with names, people. Sorry. But Graham, I think he played most of that second half, and Coach Kroom is not afraid to go with who he feels like his gut is his best option at that time. And I think this team kind of gets it this year of how they need to play if they want to be in that championship consideration. Absolutely. They are going to be a top 4 seed. No matter what happens tonight against Kinston, they are going to be a top 4 seed.
I was going to say, there's no way they can fall unless A&PR rankings change or whatever, which I don't think it would. Losing to Kinston.
Right, no, because that's a tier 8 loss.
If you lose, losing to Kinston. That's basically but hey, this was an even game, and it took.
But it would improve the strength of schedule. So it took
It took 40 minutes.
Overtime.
Yeah, it took 40.
Double
40
overtime
minutes,
last time, of course.
So they can
win the game of the year so far. It's going to be a great time to see Goldsboro compete. There's going to be a lot of cameras there. Going to see how you know, they are under the bright lights. Can they, you know, come through and give us either another performance like that, or can they get a win in this big environment? It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Kinston's going to be packed.
Going to the K.
It's going to be full.
1,800 strong.
Yeah.
You know how much they love their basketball?
Yeah. I mean, Goldsboro versus Kinston, everybody knows. This is the rivalry. This is it. This is the big one.
Speaking of Bullock, Christian's mom, Coach Latina Thomas, and the girls, they've kind of had a tough go, but they've lost a lot of close games.
They've gotten better as the season's gone.
Mary
Spring Creek, I think they've gotten better as the season's gone, both the boys and the girls team.
Yes.
But it's just like you start so bad so early, and then you're not getting any wins.
Yeah,
it's going to make it impossible for them to make the playoffs.
Like Goldsboro girls have lost some tough games.
Yeah.
Like they lost by one last night to Wallace.
Right.
So it's not like they're losing. It's not like they're losing badly. They're losing to good teams too. East Dukeland's good.
I think that. I mean, that's a better girls conference than it is a boys conference.
Yeah, those three teams.
That's kind of just how it is right now. Then of course we can go to let's see what else is left.
We have the Greater News.
Yeah, the Greater News. We have
GRNC.
The Greater News Rivers Conference.
And RC.
Yeah, the G and RC. Yeah.
I said RNC. My bad.
Oh yeah. But last night, Cleveland versus South Johnson.
Just talk. Go ahead.
Classic matchup. I mean, you just look at everything. You know, you CJ Ray going off and going crazy.
The presidente.
Yeah, the president. You know, they threw a jump defense at him. You know, forget what Coach Massengill called it, but they threw a jump defense at him and Thomas D.
What did they do? Like a box of one, triangle and two? What?
Triangle and two. That's what it is.
Oh,
I forget what it was called at this point.
Yeah.
Triangle and two. But yeah, they threw a triangle and two at him. You know, for most of the first three quarters, you know, they kept him in check. 11 points going into the fourth. They were down by 3 going into the fourth. I think they felt like, hey, we were in a good position. And when you look at it, Trey Fields was having a huge night.
And he's a player to watch for the next few years here in this county.
I think that in the Johnson County, Trey Fields, because next year, of course, CJ Ray will be graduated, and then BJ Freeman will have moved on from Clayton because he reclassed at Word of God, so he'll have to find a NCISAA school to play next year. But Trey Fields will be the guy. To me, him and Nation Waller are going to be the two guys that I look at.
Maybe Walter Farr as well.
Walter Farr as well. A little bit, but it seems like to me that Trey Fields is learning and developing at a faster pace.
Once he gets stronger.
Yeah, no, it's just all about, Jeff Davis is a big guy on weight room. Of course, last night there were a couple times he tried to body up CJ, and CJ literally just stood his ground as he tried to knock his shoulder into him.
So was it like the Carl Anthony Towns and DeMarcus Cousins?
Yeah. CJ, man, he's solid, man, and last night came down to what I always say when it comes to high school basketball. If the teams are about even, the best player will normally win that game.
What did the president do, Guy?
And of course, in the fourth quarter, they go into it. Before the fourth quarter starts, 31-30, they get a steal on a fast break. CJ Ray has an open layup. Everyone thinks he's probably just going to lay it up.
He's like, yeah, I'm just going to lay up, and then what?
Throws it off the glass, dunks it down, 33-30. Crowd goes wild. Going into the fourth quarter, pretty much a few seconds right after that.
And you have to have absolute guts to do that in a close game.
I mean, and you can see, you can look at
a game you have to have.
You can look at Coach Massengill. You can see that he wanted to explode, but he was also like, "Whoa, that just happened in game." He was as amazed as the rest of the crowd, even though he was still pretty mad that CJ took that chance. But when you're CJ Ray, you deserve to take a chance or two.
When you're South Johnson's finest.
Yeah.
But hey. This night, of course, we lost CJ Ray. He's the president. Yeah. But the president's got to have a good cabinet.
Right. Yeah. And, Thomas Dees, of course, like I said, he was part of that triangle too. He was the other guy. So he only got a chance. One good look. He made it. There you go.
But who was the guy that won it for him? But then you look how did that all go down?
But then you look at Kobe Norris and Jeremiah McLean were able to chip in, give them 11-4. Jeremiah McLean's I think came in a big moment down the stretch, but then Dylan Bates,
he came
with their point guard out sick, He steps in, plays the most minutes of his career. And at the end, of course, Cleveland had a 48-44 lead. 2 missed free throws from Zach Matthews and Austin Robinson. Left the door wide open.
2 each or just 1 each?
One each.
Okay. So
one each by them. CJ Ray made a layup, I believe, and then Kobe Norris made a layup off of 2 or 3 passes. So then the final play comes down to Zach Matthews makes a free throw. It's now 50-48. CJ Ray comes down, dribbles it. He's not really going that fast. He does his patented move where in, out, crossover to the left. Austin Robinson switches out on him because it was happened off of the screen. Austin Robinson takes some contact into his chest, flails out. Because
no call was
made. CJ Ray kicks out to Dylan Bates. Dylan Bates knocks down the 3, 51-50. Sam Johnson wins.
Cleveland
did not get a chance to really get a shot off. They called a timeout. They drew it up. They were trying to get Austin Robinson moving to his left and going up middle of the court. But when he dribbled up, there was, of course, Sam Johnson was there in defense. He kind of bobbled it, and he had to just throw up a prayer from half court. Doesn't even hit. I believe it hit the roof, actually. So, yeah. And that's the breaks. I mean, when you look at it,
we've had a Dems the breaks reference.
Yes. When you look at it, I always say in basketball, team who normally rebounds the best, turns the ball over less, and makes their free throws more, normally wins the game. South Johnson has 2 missed free throws, both of them CJ Ray. So CJ Ray actually took all 8 of their free throws last night. 6 of 8 from the line. He was actually 4 of 4 from the fourth quarter, and 6 of 8. They only missed 2. Cleveland misses 4 for the entire game. And you lose by 1. And I mean, you talk to Jeff Davis, and he's like, that's a huge loss because, hey, if you win that game, everyone is now 3-2 except for Clayton. So now it's pretty much for that second spot. Now it's
you have to now beat South Johnson.
Right. You beat South Johnson. You beat East Wake, but now it's like you have to go to East Wake and beat them because they're hanging on to a playoff seed because they had a rough patch where they lost
a lot of close games. They lost to Triton. They lost to
Hornet Central.
Yeah.
You lost to East Wake.
Yeah.
You lost to Clayton. Mm-hmm. You lose all those games.
Now you lose to South Johnson.
Now you lose to South Johnson a few weeks later, and now you're looking at 2-3 in the conference, and you're hanging on the edge of the playoffs.
So you have to pretty much win out, and
pretty much what they have to hope for is, because they're still in, because they're in a good conference. And I think they're going to be in regardless, as long as they don't lose to Triple S or West Johnston. So if you beat both of those teams, I think you're going to still get in, but you're going to slide in there as a low seed, and that's going to be very hard. Heck, you might be a 30 seed and go see Clayton, who will probably be the 2 or 3 seed.
That is true. Yeah, that could very well happen.
Of course, if you see them 3 times already and you don't beat them, probably if you're a 30 seed, you probably didn't beat them. Then it's really going to be the 4th at home playoff game. DJ Freeman.
I have to ask. We had this conversation earlier, and I did see the final play.
Yeah.
You believe that that the no call was sufficient, and I believe that a call should have been made either way. What do you think?
I can see it either way, but I always feel like situations like that, end of game, I'd rather the players play it out. Don't let the referees.
I did say that in the message too. Yeah, I love that the refs let them play that.
Like I would have preferred if you were going to make a call, I would call it a charge.
Yeah.
To me, it's 100% not a block. It's either a no call or a charge.
Austin kind of he kind of sold it, but he was in the position to take a charge.
But I think also because he sold it so much, it looked like a flop.
And the referees might have seen it that.
Yeah.
Okay. See,
that's personally my thought. I talked to him about it. Because he wanted to ask me about it, and I was like, yeah. If you're a referee in a situation where a team has blown a 4-point lead with 40 seconds left.
Oh yeah, you were up 4. Did you have up 4 with free throws or
up 4 after free throws?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So after.
So if you get one defensive stop, you pretty much
they were up. I believe They were up 47-44 at first. They foul Walter Gafar. Walter Gafar goes to the line, splits 1 of 2.
So he missed one as well.
Yeah, he missed one as well.
So they missed 3 key free throws.
Right, you missed 3 free throws.
And you lose by 1.
If you make 2 of those, you win the game. You make 1, you're going to overtime right there.
Yeah, they couldn't see the
So if I'm a ref and I look at that situation, South Johnson has done everything right. They've called the timeouts. They've made the plays. They've been able to make the baskets. It's a 50-50 no call charge. You don't call that. You let CJ make that pass. You let Dylan shoot a shot and see what happens. Because if they miss, then nobody cares about the no call. If they miss and Cleveland wins, nobody cares about the no call. Who cares? Water on the bridge. But because you lose that game, because you blew that game, now you're in a battle. Yeah, now it's a problem.
No, that was a great talk about that game.
Right.
That game.
Of course,
please check out these highlights on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And the girls too. The Cleveland girls won.
Right. Cleveland girls are now on 3.
They're hot. The Clayton girls taking care of business.
They have a freshman backcourt with Sage Farmer and Brooklyn Waller.
Speaking of freshmen, the freshman girls class, especially in this.
Yeah, Brooklyn Waller, Sage Farmer, both of them had nice nights. 22 points between the 2 of them. 146-41 over South Johnston. They're looking at that 3rd place spot. If you can get a win over Clayton or East Wake somehow, some way,
and maybe Triple S too if they can.
Well, they've already beaten Triple S.
Oh yeah, that's right. They did beat Triple S.
They're sitting squarely in 3rd place by themselves, 3-2. You can keep at 3rd place, and you can maybe get to the 2nd round of that conference championship.
It appears they've grown since the last time I saw them.
Yeah, so they've gotten a lot better. They're Robbie White, first-year coach, he's doing a great job.
Yeah, absolutely.
I believe Whitney Williams at South Johnson is doing a great job. I just think
she is.
They're probably another year or 2 away before they can really start competing. They probably need one of those good freshman talents to come in for them next year.
Absolutely.
If they really want to go to the
next
next
everybody level. Right now is looking up to those Clayton Lady comments and how they're playing.
Yeah. I believe they won 10 straight now.
They're taking care of business.
Yeah,
arguably, I would argue we have them at number 2.
We have them at number 2, but they could be at number 1. Them and Wayne Country are right there on their heels. Both of them. It's just neither one of them has blinked in about 2 or 3 weeks.
That's true.
Well, actually, since Christmas, neither one of them has blinked since Christmas.
And West Johnson, girls and boys.
West Johnson, of course, the boys, and they've beaten Triple S. It's probably looking like both of them are going to finish 5th. West Johnson girls may finish 4th because, of course, they got that big win over Triple S. But it's going to be really tough for them. Triple S. The girls have really fallen off since Christmas.
The boys have had it tough here, but we love Coach Covington and Elijah Weir, and they have a young bunch, but they just have not caught a break in any close games.
That's what happens when you're young. You don't know how to win.
Exactly. That's what they have to say.
You lose games that maybe you could have won. It happens.
Yes.
That's what prices happen.
It's a Dems the breaks type of thing.
Yeah.
But the last thing we need to talk about in terms of teams are the private schools. We love our private schools. Cool.
Yeah, of course, Wayne Country Greenfield Friday night going against each other for the conference title.
Yep, Greenfield boys are going for it outright, and Wayne Country Day is going for the tie. This is one of the biggest games in a while. If there were ever a time for them to get a big win, this would be the time to do it.
Wayne Country Day, when it comes to the big ones, man, they have not been able to come through with it.
You said, I believe, that they've only beaten Greenfield twice in 3 decades?
Twice in about 25 years.
25 years?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Really?
Well, you just got to think, Greenfield's, traditionally been an excellent basketball program. We've had
Salter's been great for a long time there. He's won.
We've won
so many rings there.
We've had good teams, but, there was a long period there where they had fallen off. Then Terry Jones, of course, revives the program. Then David Flowers takes the program up another level.
To the state title.
Now you have Keith McLaughlin there, who's done a really good job, but I just don't think that his team plays together well enough for them to be able to get any wins. To get those big wins.
And that's their challenge for this game. They have to start playing together.
It's a microcosm of they've played so many bad teams. When you play a lot of bad teams, what you get is a lot of bad basketball.
A lot of relaxation a little bit.
A lot of relaxation, a lot of guys saying, hey, I want to get my 20. You want to get your 20, let's get 20, let's get 20, let's get 20. Everyone wants to get the 20 points. Nobody wants to sit and run the offense right and run it well and to the point where you are a machine. Because talent-wise, I believe that Wayne Couture's talent is better than Greenfield's. But Greenfield plays a much better team game. And you can argue that's how the series has been over the last 10 years or so. That maybe the talent was about as good.
The talent was even, but
never mind, because they had Kobe White. We didn't have Kobe White.
And we love Kobe.
Yeah, of course. Kobe White is a little bit different.
I was gonna say, hold on a second, brother.
Yeah,
we can't just forget about this man who scored 2,000 points.
I would really love for Jaden Cooper to get this win tonight.
Greenfield is good. They play Friday, right?
Yeah, Friday.
Greenfield will be coming off of playing Trinity Christian, who is arguably the 1A private school favorite.
You're right.
They're probably the two favorites right now.
Right. I just think that when you look at Jaden, he's probably
first of all, Salter's his schedule is ridiculous. Yeah. I don't know if you've seen it. They play a ridiculous schedule.
Yeah, no, they've done the tough lifting. They prepared themselves. Enough.
They took Milford to the white. They had a fourth quarter lead on the second half.
You can argue that they played as many tough games as they played easy games.
Yes, maybe even more.
And I think most of the time with good teams, you get about if you schedule a good schedule, you're probably about 60-40. And I think that's where they're at. They played a really good schedule.
They played Middleburg, Cannon. They're playing Trinity Christian, and then back to back, they're playing at Wayne Country Day.
Right.
Last time when they played Wayne Country Day, the next day they played the Burlington School.
Yeah.
Off of that emotional game. It's ridiculous.
Trust me. That's why they're state championship winners. But it's going
that's why they have a shot to win.
But that's why Wayne Country Day this offseason they're going to have to go out there and schedule harder games. It's just simple as that. You're going to have to go out there and try to get harder games. They tried to make their schedule a lot tougher as the talent came in, but
now you got to really make it so they can be battle tested.
Yeah, because being 21-4, that's nice, but you against winning teams, I believe they're 2-4.
Yeah, but losing Julian Williams was a tough one.
Yeah, Julian Williams was a tough one. Not having Jakari like you thought you were going to have Jakari was a really hard thing to deal with because truly that is their missing piece. They don't have that wing scorer other than Jaden who can go get them that points.
Getting points whenever you want to.
Yeah, and that's the thing. But, like I said, I would love for Jaden to get this because, out of all my years of watching, that he's probably, if not the best Wayne Country Day player I've ever seen, he's at least top 3. It's at least top 3.
I was going to say, and there are a lot of great players that have come through that school.
I mean, you look at some of the other
that's
top
a big
guys.
play.
You look at Deshar Thomas, who's now a semi-pro basketball player.
Yep.
In Indiana, I believe now.
Yep.
He got a win his senior year against,
Was that the last time?
No, that was the time before last. You look at I believe it was Joel Davis. I believe it was Joel Davis' senior year. They beat Kobe White on a buzzer beater. So
that's right. I remember that.
Right. And Joel Davis went off Columbia, did some great things.
Speaking of, didn't Jaden take an official visit there?
Yeah. So
they're on him. They've been on him for like several months.
Columbia's on him. So anybody watching, if you haven't called and been busy on Jaden's phone, man, like they have.
I was gonna say, I know a school with these colors that should be on it.
Yeah, I mean, of course they've offered. ECU's already offered. So,
they have. Okay.
So they're trying to get there, but Columbia is trying.
They are.
Their vision
because they got Xavier McLean from Village Christian.
Their vision is Xavier McLean and Jaden Cooper playing in the exact same.
They're recruiting the hoop state. That's what you do. Recruit the hoop state people.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Not just the boys. The girls are some hoop. We got some girls hoopers out here too. So.
And of course, the girls game for Greenfield versus Wayne Country Day.
Greenfield
could be able to pull that upset, and they would get a piece of that conference title. So,
but I really don't think the girls will have any problems.
I don't think so either.
Jakia Brunson has played great.
Lexi Jeffries is a game changer.
I
mean, they're looking like they're probably going to be going to the state championship game.
I would argue that of every WJG team, boy or girl, they would have the best chance, in my opinion.
I'm not disagreeing with that, honestly.
The only team ahead of them beat them by 33 early in the season.
Yeah.
O'Neill School is really good.
Yeah.
They've revitalized that girls program. They used to be terrible. When I was in high school, boys and girls basketball, they weren't that good.
Yeah.
The girls program's gotten so much better, but that's a side note.
Right.
But we have talked about them. We talked about you got to go see Star Christian.
Boys. Of course, Star Christian
and Faith Christian.
I mean, the cast is hard, to really talk about anything because it's not really necessarily a real playoffs. But BJ Sanders, he's a really good player to watch.
What year is he again?
He's a sophomore.
Oh,
sophomore transfer from West Johnson, reclassified.
Gotcha.
When I saw him against Southwick Academy, of course they hit 20 ball, nice little 20 piece nugget.
A little McNugget.
A little 20 piece nugget.
Little McNugget.
Not no extra sauce enough, but just 20 piece
McNugget.
Yeah. But he's good. He's fun to watch. Has a quick trigger. One of the better shooters I'd say in the county. I mean, Faith Christian, of course they were fun. It was a cool night.
Nice experience.
Yeah, little easy night. Wild experience. Of course, I've never seen anyone stop a quad basketball night to play alumni game. So that was interesting. But
I heard about that.
Yeah, that was wild. But hey, you know what? Very nice people, treated me very well. I'd love to come back another time, sometime, maybe next year, probably. But yeah. So really, the last thing to talk about is, of course, this is gonna be really quick. BJ, CJ. Everybody, has been, putting their opinions out there. I think everyone wants to call BJ Freeman overrated. I think that's really what it is. They don't like Clayton, so they want to say, hey, BJ's not as good. Yeah, BJ's not as good as they say he is. I think that's all that is. That's what they want to say.
They just want to.
Just because
put CJ in the conversation.
It's like when certain players were at the Lakers and it was like, he's not that good. He's just this or that. No, he's really good. I mean, when you compare the two, if you really compare the two, both of them are having great seasons.
Absolutely.
Both of them are on Friday night going to face each other. And
speak on it.
Yeah, and
WJG Sports Game of the Week right now, I'm sure. Arguably, or just this game tonight. Actually, they could be co-games of the week. Why not? We can just call it that.
Yeah, they're it's gonna be pretty much whoever wins that game will be in the driver's seat for
if Clayton wins, they're probably.
Of course, Clayton wins. They have it all by themselves. South Johnson will have to share it because they have to split with Clayton. But I think both of those teams. I think both of those guys are really blessed with some great physical tools. When you look at CJ, he's probably more important to South right now, where I think BJ is more of a closer. BJ is that one thing that makes Clayton from just a really good playoff team to a possible championship contending team.
But CJ also, without CJ,
that's
South Johnson, I'm not sure if they could make the playoffs without CJ.
Yeah, I'd say, BJ, Clayton has won a game when BJ had 8 points. I don't think South could win a game where CJ had 8 points. I think CJ's asked to do a lot more, but I think
South Johnson kids are gonna hear this like, is that a challenge, sir?
No. I mean, I think CJ.
But CJ is that valuable to them. Yes,
I think CJ is.
It's not just the points.
I think his floor is higher than BJ's, but BJ's ceiling, with his size, with his athleticism, he is unguardable in high school basketball. When he wants to be. When he wants to say, hey, I'm going to get downhill, he can get downhill because he has the handles good enough, he has the footwork, he has the post game. And I think a lot of people want to say, this or that because they kind of go and they see him and, he's not taking over. He's not as engaged as CJ is because he doesn't have to do as much as CJ does. He can play on the wing. He can float. He can decide to go to the post when it's time to go to the post. He can, he gets a lot more luxury playing on a team that, has, a great point guard in Mason Rush. Javante Long is a very great combo guard who can run your offense. You get Shakir Howard. That team is loaded with talent and guys that perfectly complement BJ, so BJ doesn't have to be something like CJ Ray.
Yeah.
But if you put BJ Freeman at South Johnson his freshman year and leave him there, that he could have became something like CJ Ray. Both of them, I think, they're both high work ethic. Both are good kids. Both, as far as I know, both do well in the classroom, and both steadily improve every single time I see them.
You get pleasantly surprised every time.
Yeah, exactly. And
that's a player I like. A player that every time I've seen them has gotten better. And the player for me that's like that, just as a side note, is Corey Faison.
Yeah.
That's a player every time I've seen him, he's gotten better.
Right, but I think his ceiling is the roof. I don't think there's
the ceiling is the roof.
I don't think there's a single prospect in the WJG area who can touch how high that kid's ceiling is. It's the roof. It's the roof. It's as high as he can go. But just those two guys right now, they're 1 and 2 in our Player of the Year rankings.
Xavier Axon's right there with him. Jaden Cooper's right there with him. Right. This is going to be a tough choice.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very tough choice.
It's been a great year of basketball, and these kids have really gone out there and laid it on their line.
Absolutely.
Even Nation, I believe
Nation's right there,
5th or 6th as well. It's been, really great year of basketball. And when it comes to those two kids, I hope that we stop trying to pit them against each other and say one is better than the other.
Just let these kids be great. Go be great, guys. That's all we ask. We just want you to go out there and hoop.
I think they're different animals, same beast.
Different animals, same beast.
Yeah.
Speaking of.
Yeah.
The reason why we have this, I think you might have figured it out as this episode's going on, of course. I'm sure you've heard about what's happened with Kobe Bryant and his passing. He meant a lot to a lot of people. I think
oh man, he's my childhood, man.
Yeah, he's even mine. Even though I wasn't, I will admit right now, I was not as big a Kobe fan as this guy was. But I grew up in my aunt's house in Greensboro, watching the Western Conference Finals when the Lakers were in it, and when they played the Blazers.
You're talking about 3 years old on my grandma's floor, watching Kobe and Duncan and watching them face off. Then you look at
those Spurs Lakers matchups in the early 2000s.
Yeah, right. And then as you grow up, 4, 5, 6. My grandma, she was a big Shaq fan, so that's how I became a Laker fan. Watching, because that's what she watched, and she was the one who really got me into basketball. But I've been in basketball since I was 3 years old. That's the first game I ever loved. Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal were the first people who I ever loved who I didn't know.
For our age group, they were like the first. For people our age, when we were kids, that's probably who we all grew up with.
Yeah, that's them, Allen Iverson, Tracy McGrady.
Yes,
those were our
Jason Kidd and
Jason
Steve
Kidd,
Nash eventually, Vince Carter,
yeah. So you look at those, how big of an impact they left on basketball, and what they left on me. Like I said, I grew up. One of my first earliest memories is after 2002 championship. The Lakers won the championship against the New Jersey Nets, and Kobe sitting there in that camera.
I remember.
He's got 3 fingers up.
When you know that you have done so much and extorted so much energy, you remember at the end of that game 4 where I forgot who it was, but it was like a slow little just high five and a hug after he sold the ball. I forgot which players it was, but you could see how much work they had put into that three-peat, and it was.
Right. I mean, it's the last three-peat that we've ever seen.
Yeah. Not from Kawhi Leonard, maybe we had more.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But Kobe Bryant meant a lot to me, even if my favorite.
Oh man, people spend a lot of time hating on Kobe.
Oh my god.
That was the thing.
I put out on Twitter, nobody has a following like Kobe Bryant, in my opinion.
The people who hated Kobe, there was also some love there, because to hate somebody with that much venom that Kobe had, you had to
respect. Yeah,
you had to really respect that game.
Facts.
And that's what it was, man. It was a lifetime of just watching somebody do the impossible every single night. I remember watching him in his latter years, 2013, and. You could see him. Yeah, you could see him just pushing the Lakers through as a player. He's putting them on his back. He's carrying them through injuries.
Age 37.
40 minutes a night under Mike D'Antoni. Putting up 27 and 6.
And 5, right?
Yeah.
27, 6, and 5. And he blows his Achilles out.
Goes to
shoots the free throws, makes
I
both.
Man, I remember I was crying watching him do that because I remember the press conference. He's sitting there red-eyed because
he knew.
I think everyone knew that the Kobe Bryant that we had known was no longer there.
Probably yes.
He was no longer going to be that guy. But it was really hard watching those latter years where he's losing. He can't. And the problem, the worst thing about it was just watching him in those times where his game wasn't working, where he was working so hard to try to get it over that hill, but it wasn't there anymore.
But for him to finish it,
right? But of course,
it's not just that. He had 35 and 34 like in April too.
Right,
so he was dropping 30 every night to end his career pretty much.
Right. I mean,
and then it culminated with that game.
Yeah, that 60-point game. I've always said that that's other than winning a championship on your way out, that's pretty much as perfect as you can go. I think John Elway probably had the best retirement of all time. I think Kobe could easily be ranked top 5. I mean, just when you look at the last performance, you go out 60 points, game winner. Your last play as a basketball player ever is an assist to Jordan Clarkson. The crowd is going nuts. Just seeing it on ESPN and watching everyone rewatch it on the timeline and kind of come together in a moment of really hard times. I mean, because, like I said, Kobe Bryant meant the world to a lot of people, not just in basketball, women's basketball, soccer, just all over the world. They respected Kobe because Kobe was a champion of not only the game, but he was a champion of life. He was one of those guys who taught you must work hard. If you work hard, don't cheat the game. Guess what? The game will reward you.
Yes.
For not being that guy.
Obviously, with this abrupt passing, we also have to think of Gigi as well.
Right. I mean, Gigi
and just everybody that was on that plane.
Honestly, man, Gigi makes it so much more sadder for me.
Yes.
I was looking forward to, and
because she was gonna be UConn great.
I was hoping that she would be the first ever high schooler to go straight to the WNBA. And be just like Kobe. And dude, I mean, I would watch the heck out of some WNBA with Gigi there, and I watch the WNBA pretty frequently compared to most people. But man, just watching Kobe again, because when you saw so much of her game, there was so much of a Kobe element and factor in her game. You could see that she studied her dad, that she loved everything her dad and learned from her dad. And I think that's also another layer that we got to see is that, people showcasing how great of a father Kobe was. Because I think a lot of times Kobe can get kind of written off as a bad person at times. Because I think a lot of times during his life, people kind of, it turned them off that he was such a tryhard, that he was such a driven person. Sometimes people they don't like somebody who isn't as successful or isn't as hardworking as they are. But it just strikes me with sadness that we're not even going to get to see her fulfill her dreams and go to the WNBA, carry out his legacy. And, it sucks that they were on the way to a basketball game or basketball practice or whatever. I mean, and then it just sucks even more that you lose 7 more people. That's, even more families affected. It's just the type of crash.
Vanessa and the rest of the kids.
Right. It's just such a ripple throughout the world. Like, you could feel, I felt like an energy shifted in the entire world.
I felt like the world flipped on its. I thought they were lying.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people agree with me.
I think a lot of people hope that they were lying.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people hope that TMZ was lying.
It was hard. It was hard to, this is one of the more shocking deaths I can remember.
I mean, if we're back, this is the type of stuff you see in football.
Especially in sports, I think.
Football, this happens a lot. You lose legends young because, football's a violent game. And at times, I think it can break these guys down to that point. I believe Chris Dolman just passed away today.
Yeah.
He was a Hall of Fame, defensive end, I believe, for the Vikings.
Yeah.
And only at 58 years old. I think you see that a lot more in football because football there is more people involved.
It's a violent game. It happens.
But when you look at the NBA, man, if you look at the top 10 most impactful players, the only ones who were passed before Kobe was Wilt. Wilt was the only GOAT that we didn't get to see at this point in time. You know, of course, you know, Bill Russell's holding on. You know, but we lost Moses Malone. Can't forget him. But when you look at it, we had all our GOATs. We got to see Michael Jordan get old and develop. We got to see Magic and Larry get old and develop. We got to see.
We did, but like people our age, right, older, yes,
right. You know, you got to see Bill. You still see Bill Russell last year, literally on the MVP, telling people that I was the best big man. I could have beat Shaq.
Because that's the funniest thing. I mean, he's like, I would whoop her, you know.
Yeah. And everyone kind of expected you would get that with Kobe. You would get to see his latter years. You would get to see how he developed, how he changed the person, how he, you know, pushed the media world, how he was, you know, I believe he had body armor drinks as well. He was changing that industry. He was going so hard to change so many things while also being a great father and a great husband in his latter years. So it just sucks that, you know, this is the first one who, in our generation, we don't get to see get old. We don't get to see this guy, you know, get old. And this is probably one of the most insightful and smartest guys that the NBA has ever seen.
Really, that's correct. 100%.
You know,
the one thing that everyone talks about in regards to his past is that 2003 allegation of, you know.
And it's so distasteful. So
I think, here's the thing with me. I think that to the timing of it, it is a part of it. It is. But the timing of dancing over his grave with it is so wrong on so many levels.
Right.
And that's the part that struck me as very wrong. So I'm sure everyone's heard of that Washington Post reporter that got suspended for doing that.
Suspended and re-admitted or whatever. It got reversed or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. If a person is proven innocent and the accuser didn't want to testify, and there's a whole bunch of other things. If somebody's proven innocent, I don't think you can continue to hold that against them. Especially if the person settles and, you know, Kobe never fully admitted. There's talk about half confessions. It's a half confession. You know, what does it mean? I
think that controversy is a part of it. I mean, it is.
It is.
But to talk about it right as that is what's wrong. Yes.
Right as the helicopter still on fire, you couldn't have waited until, you know, weeks after at least. You know, to me, it just lacked. It was just very insensitive and
it was
very just tasteless and classy.
I agree. It was.
You could talk about it, you know, later or ask about how, you know, people treat rape culture, which I think that is very important, you know, that people talk about how we do treat victims. But like I said, you don't really know if this woman is a victim or not. You know, you can't really say because it was never proven. Nobody knows what happens. There's going to be different accounts and different things that's going to be taken into account. But I'm sure you can read the facts and you can figure out what side you stand on.
Yeah. But
in the end of it all, for many people, that's not going to be Kobe's story. It's not going to be a part of who he is. I'm not going to, personally.
I don't think I'm going to remember it either.
I mean, personally, it was never something that I thought about because I know how easy it is to just get into assumptions and just assume of these things of people just because someone says it. But if you can't prove it, then what can you really say?
Exactly. That's true. All that's correct. The other thing I wanted to talk about with regards to this, first of all, very shocking story. Right. I'm sure you can't believe it either still. But the other thing was the amount of media malpractice all over the place was just ridiculous. And honestly, a lot of social media stuff is stupid too.
I mean, it showed us what type of world we're living in when it comes to media. First is more important than accurate. And misinformation spreads fast because everybody is a reporter, everybody has a camera, everybody has a platform. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. You know.
Speak on it.
You know, I see, you know, Rick Fox being put in there, and
that one got me.
Rick Fox being put in there, and
that was so crazy.
It's all 4 of his daughters, and TMZ reported it was 5, and then it turned out to be 9. Like, you it was a big rush. TMZ reporting it before the family was even notified, which that sounds more. That goes more. I mean, both.
It's just stupid. That's it. It's just stupid.
It's just stupid. We're in a very bad place when it comes to media. I don't think we're in a good spot when it comes to journalism and media right now.
But there's just the one thing to end this hopefully on a positive note.
Yeah.
Always make sure you tell the people you love. Tell your close friends, your loved ones, your family, anyone you know. Just tell them you love them. It doesn't matter. Even in my opinion, I would say even tell a stranger. You never know. In my opinion, you always make sure you're close with the ones who love you most. That's how I always view it. After that happened, like I called my mom every hour for like the last 2 or 3 days. It's just like whatever problems we had, I said it's not worth arguing about. Like the debate between LeBron, Kobe, and Jordan, I don't think it matters. I really don't think it should matter. Yeah. I honestly think it's just. I hope this is like because even the invincible are human. Yeah. And I always say, no matter what, we're all the same. We are all the same. We run the same race, just on different paths. And we're one race. We're the human race. So that's all we can do. We just have to move forward. I think that's.
That's the Just Like Brothers podcast, episode 29, I believe. 28.
Hey man, I'm about on the verge of tears, man. It took me a couple of days to finally be on the verge of tears. I am. Yeah. This is tough. But it's one thing that's good is it's good to be back. It's good to be back with you, buddy.
Yes, sir, brother.
Kobe, we love you, man. Of course, as always, WJG_sports, WJG Sports Instagram, YouTube, WJG Sports, 750 plus subs. All social media platforms at MMJ Kai Jones. I forgot your other Twitter account's name, but it's a bunch of letters. it's for that book that you're trying to do. I don't know. You should get back to it, in my opinion. Yeah. That's between you and I guess. And of course, me at StrikeNation24 at LMA Preps. If you want photos, like bb.smugmug.com. And yeah.
R.I.P. Kobe. Rest in peace.